Welcome to the Funky Latina podcast, where community, culture, and music collide. I'm your host, Elisa, the Funky Latina. We'll discuss what I'm listening to, events you can't miss, and your new favorite Latin indie artists. Press play and let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funky Latina podcast. I'm your host, Elisa, the Funky Latina. I hope everyone is having a beautiful week. I can't believe it's February, y'all. January was seriously the longest year of my life, and it's February now. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I've also noticed that the days are getting a little bit longer, which as a sun girl, a solar chica, I might use that later. As a solar chica, I love the sun. I love the long days, and so I'm happy that the days are getting a little bit longer, but time for some reason is just going by so freaking fast. Your girl has been busy. We have been booked. We have been busy. It is less than 50 days. By the time you hear this podcast, it'll probably be close to under 40 days until the Funky Latina Music Festival. If you haven't, make sure you get your tickets. We're running a $10 discount code. Use the word baddie if you're a baddie, if you know a baddie. I'm sure you came from a baddie, so use the code baddie to get $10 off your tickets to the Funky Latina Music Festival. I want to see all of you there. That has been, again, taking up most of my time, which, those are the good problems when you're an event producer, when you're the Funky Latina. It's to be expected that the Arizona's only Latin indie music festival is taking up the majority of your time, and I love it, to be honest. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I get to work with a lot of other Latino creatives in the city. I get to connect with new people. I get to introduce you to your new favorite artists. So yes, it is busy. Yes, it takes up a lot of my time and it can be challenging. But to be honest, all the work that goes into this event is so worth it. And the only way to find out is for you to pull up. So see you March 21st. There are no shameless plugs here because it's the Funky Latina podcast. You knew what you were getting into when you hit play. So hope y'all are having a good week. I am really excited for this episode because I wasn't going to release a second episode back to back, but we just had the Grammys and a lot went on at the Grammys, and I love watching the Grammys. And I'm going to keep this intro super brief because I have a lot that I want to talk about when it comes to the Grammys and Cardi B being on SNL. Just how powerful music is, because I think that if you watch the Grammys or if you've heard anything about them since then, you know how powerful music can be, and good music never goes out of style. So I don't know about you, but I'm ready. Let's get into the main part of this podcast. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funky Latina podcast. I'm your host, Elisa, the Funky Latina. So as I briefly mentioned, I want to talk about a couple of things that have been going on in music news. So recently, Cardi B performed at Saturday Night Live, and I don't really watch Saturday Night Live anymore. Shout out to Marcelo anyways, but her performance was absolutely incredible, and I caught it after it was live, and she performed Bodega Baddie and absolutely slayed her performance. But what was really cool about this performance in particular, and I think a lot of other Latinos will agree with it, was that she just really showed out. She was showing off and being so proud of her Dominican culture, and from her authentic dress style to the dance moves to the backup dancers to the instruments she had on stage. It was just really exciting, and a lot of people were talking about that. And then to follow up, we had the Grammys right afterwards, and we all know that the Grammys were basically like a pre-Benito Bowl, because we all know that Bad Bunny won Album of the Year, and it's so exciting to see that happen because he also won Album of the Year for Latin Grammys for his album Debí Tirar Más Fotos. And so it was just so exciting. I was off and on watching the Grammys live. I was actually kind of watching them on TikTok live because your girl ain't got that channel that everybody else got. But anyways, off and on, but I was girl, I will be seated whenever this gets announced, because I did think that he had the best album of the year. He was my number one artist on Spotify streaming. Don't tell Beyonce, okay? It was just such an incredible album. I remember when that album came out last year, literally listening to it every day. waking up, putting it on, getting ready for work, getting ready to go out, anything I was doing, like that was the album. That album was the soundtrack to my 2025. What I consider to be great albums or albums that tell a story. And when I listen to Debí tirar más fotos, I feel like he's taking me not just through like a cultural history lesson, but also it feels like a movie. It feels like I'm in a movie and I'm listening / watching every scene go from track to track seamlessly. And it is just so much fun. Like there's literally something on that album for everyone. You have salsa, you have dembow, you have perreo, obviously, and it's just a really cool album. And for me, I think when you think about album of the year, it comes from somebody who is a culture shifter, who is a culture curator. And it's not like they're, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create change, I'm going to create culture. They just do it authentically because they are that kind of artist and they are that powerful, which is why, it was so cool to see Beyonce win album of the year last year or the previous year for Cowboy Carter. Like you are seeing two artists, and don't come for me because obviously these are like literally these are my top two favorite living artists, and I just think that they are both the best in the game, the best in their game. Nobody can do it like they do it. And it's so cool to see a woman like Beyonce, who is a Black woman from Houston, Texas, singing country music, creating a country album, creating a Beyonce album, and it being loved and admired by so many people. And we're going to talk about the ones that don't love it because forget them. And being album of the year, being herself, being true to herself. And that's something that I think Bad Bunny has done his whole life. Like, go check out my TikToks from a few years ago because you'll see me talking about him and what an impact he has had. And I think the best thing about him is that really through his music encourages people to be yourself. Be yourself, show up as your full self. Do not dumb yourself down. Don't dumb your culture down. Don't dumb your art down. Don't dilute anything for anybody, for any awards, because the right people are going to come. And I think that is a huge message to hear. I just feel like you don't hear that messaging all the time. And I think it's so important to remind ourselves, remind each other that we are the secret sauce, that who we are and what we do. Like, I'm the Funky Latina and ain't nobody can do it like I do. And that's what makes me special. That's what makes me different. That's what makes me valuable. That's what makes me have my own freaking music festival, okay? And I think that it's a message that sometimes gets lost, especially in the music industry. I think when technology is changing, the way we listen to music is changing, like it's so easy to be like, okay, everything around me is changing. Maybe I need to change who I am and what the art I make so that it is digestible. But Bad Bunny doesn't do any of that. He is true to himself. He sings in Spanish. He wears what he wants and he makes his statements through his art. And that's something that I've always loved about him. That's something I appreciate about him. The first time I saw Bad Bunny in concert was 2018 maybe, and he was part of a reggaeton festival in Vegas, and it was so cool. Like, this was Trap Bunny, and what I loved about that show was that like it was him and a bunch of other Latin artists, but he's the one that kind of introduced me to Latin trap, like, because he used to be Trap Bunny, and I was like, oh, this is different. Oh, he's kind of cute. Like, that got me into his music, and so I've been a fan for a really long time, and it is so cool to just see where he is. I mean, I think he also had like a Beyonce moment because like when he won, like he had like the shock face, which was so funny because I feel like that just like flashed you back to when Beyonce won. It was like, what? Are you sure? And I mean, I think no matter how confident you are, like you're always like, you have that little tiny bit of hesitation, that little tiny bit of doubt, which I think is good. I think that feeling that way makes you like stay hungry. And so it was just so cool. It was so cool to see him win the award and accept the award and be 10 toes down for Puerto Rico, for his fans, for his community, for the Latino community, and honestly for humanity. And I think, him, I mean, I would call him like a Latino icon. I would name him as like a legendary artist, a legendary performer that we are going to be talking about. Like, let's say if I have my kids or whatever, my nieces and nephews and whatever, like they're going to be talking about him. Like, my niece is so excited for the Bad Bunny Bowl on Sunday. Like, I don't even know who's playing, but we're very excited to see him perform. Like, it's so cool how he's been able to bridge even like different generations together. Like, I'll be watching the show, my parents will be there, my nieces and nephew are going to be there. Like, it's really cool that he's able to bring families together. And I think that's a testament to how powerful he is, but also how powerful music is. And I really appreciated, when he accepted his awards, all of his awards that evening. Like, he talked about immigrant communities and how they're important and how we're freaking human and how we're not animals, and how ICE needs to get the hell out. Like, those might seem like little things, but to use your platform, I think, is so important. It's so important. And to have that opportunity to create the narrative, because I think what happens in media a lot of times is like, there's a narrative created about us, about the Latino community, but it's not coming from us. And so when we get to be the narrators of our stories, when we get to tell our stories and tell the truth, you get to break barriers. You get to teach people what our community is like, what our culture is like, what stereotypes are true or not. And I think that's like so freaking important. I'm so glad Bad Bunny made those statements. They might be short, they might be small, but the impact that he has as a global worldly artist is important. And so I'm just thankful for that. And I hope that he knows that I appreciate him. Maybe I should send him a letter. I don't know. I'm just really proud of him. And I think that even that whole Grammy night, seeing people stand up and wear the ice out pins and talk about the injustice that marginalized people are facing today, specifically around immigration, it's cool. It's really cool. And it gives me hope that there can be change because people are talking about it. I think that's the first step, is talking about it. And then you need to get knowledgeable. You need to learn about it. And so I do think that it makes a difference, because it did make a difference, because it gave me hope and it made me feel like, okay, we can do this. We can do this together, and we can use music as a tool to bring people together, to educate people, and to fight and to stand up for ourselves, because we all deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. But after he won Album of the Year, I was just so happy. And I don't know if you can relate or not, but I was just kind of like, okay, let me dust my shoulders off. We won. I mean, he won, but it felt like we won because there's just been so many terrible headlines in the news lately, and to go to sleep knowing I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna stand a little taller and I'm gonna be extra Puerto Rican because we just won. We just won Grammy for Album of the Year, and it just makes you so proud. And I'm just really happy about that. And I actually was really excited to see a lot of some of my faves at the Grammys. I was thinking about, I was like, dang, I definitely should have applied to be a seat filler, because even though Beyonce wasn't there, this would have been a really cool Grammys to go to. Some of my favorite artists that I saw were Durand, Bernarr. Oh my God, congratulations. He has been in the game for so long. He is like an R&B, funk, soul artist. And his album Bloom just recently won a Grammy for progressive R&B, and I had the honor and privilege to see him perform in concert just last year. He came to Phoenix and I was so excited. Tickets were only like $30. And so I was like, I'm in there. I took a friend with me, and my friend was like, oh my God. Like, when we left that show, my friend was like, thank you so much for inviting me. Like, he is incredible. And what's really cool about him is that he is an instrument. His whole body is an instrument. He is an incredible singer, a talented musician. He also DJs, and he's just so freaking talented. And he's been in the game for so long. Specifically, the album Bloom that he won the Grammy for is so beautiful. And he talked about his album at the concert and how the album had actually was inspired by a lot of the people in his life, and about the beautiful friendships that he has, and how he's always encouraging people to bloom. And a lot of the things he talked about also remind me of Bad Bunny, because Durand Bernarr has been in the game for so long and he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed who he is. He always shows up who he is, self-proclaimed Butch Queen. He's doing his thing. He's making incredible music, and it's just so exciting to see him finally get his flowers and to see him bloom on stage. I remember after his concert, like texting my friends and being like, oh my God, I just saw him in concert and he talks about his friends and how they made him feel. And like, this is how my friends make me feel. And so I just think, again, like that is just a testament in the power of music, of how it makes us feel and how it's so relatable. And like, I'm so excited to see what he does next. I actually had tickets to one of his shows in New York. It was actually a DJ set. Like I said, he's an incredible DJ. I will link his most recent DJ set in the comments below because you need to check it out. Like, he is like the DJ of my dreams. Every song he plays, every mix, I'm like, oh my God, I love this song. Oh my God, I love this song. Like, this is a bop. So just an incredible music curator all the way around. And he has a song on his album Bloom. It's called Flounce. Flora and Fauna. Is it called Flounce? I need to double check. But that song is so cool because it's featured God on the album, Good Ass Women Deserve. And they are another duo that I am totally obsessed with. They are based in California. I've seen them perform a couple of times, actually met them. So shout out to God. Anytime I run into them or see them live or see them like anywhere, they remember me. So I really appreciate that. But they are just like really talented musicians. They are incredible vocalists, and like to see them also be a part of this album and the album receive a Grammy is so freaking cool. So check out God if you haven't listened to them. Start with their rendition of Nasty Girl. It is so good. You would think you were listening to the original. They put their own spin on it, but it is just an incredible song. So get into that. All right, before we wrap up Grammy talk, I gotta talk about one other homegirl, America's sweetheart, freaking Olivia Dean. I know she's not from America, but I didn't know what else to call her, and I love her. I fell in love with her about 2 years ago when I first heard her album Messy, and this girl just has like the most beautiful voice. Like, yeah, it's pop music category, but she has a lot of influence of like jazz and a lot of influence of R&B and soul. Like, this woman is so soulful, and she won the Grammy for Best New Artist, which I need to figure out how these Grammys work and the rules and the regulation, because she's been making music for a long time, but she won Best New Artist. And I think a lot of people were introduced to her this year, became new fans. Like, I saw her music all over TikTok, all over Instagram. I know you guys saw me singing all her music when I was in Spain. Like, that was the soundtrack to my trip. And specifically her album, The Art of Loving. Oh my God, like, I am a proud, hopeful romantic, but this girl has done me like one better. She is way more into love than I am. And I think it was such a timely album because I feel like post-pandemic, we're living in a post-pandemic world, y'all. And I think like we are still looking for connection and community and love. Like, girl, I'm looking for love too. And so listening to that album was honestly reassuring. Like, it made me feel like, oh my God, so this is what love feels like. This is what it could feel like. Like, girl, I can't wait to fall in love because that album made me believe that I could. So go listen to The Art of Loving by Olivia Dean. It is so incredible. If you're a new Olivia Dean fan, start with the album. Make sure you check out her album Messy, specifically Ladies Room. That's my favorite track on the album. Dive is also really good too. So check that out. Shout out to Olivia Dean. If you're listening, girl, I really want to go to a show. I'm happy to fly to Italy. I just need some tickets. Me and my girl Kat need some tickets. Okay, we love you. We want to see you. We want to support you. But she, again, Best New Artist and sold out every single show in the US. So shout out to you, girl. Side note, when her tickets went on sale, there was a little bit of an issue because as soon as they went on sale, there were like some issues with the ticketing website. And then to top it off, people were reselling her tickets. And so she made a public post on Instagram, on her stories and in her feed, and was like, I'm sorry, this is absolutely ridiculous. She called out the ticketing service company and made them refund all the resale tickets. And then when she added extra dates, she made sure that nobody could resell tickets. And I'm like, thanks, girl. Appreciate you for standing up for your fans. I'm like, if she could do it, doesn't that mean all the other artists can do it? I'm just saying, as a professional fangirl, it would be nice to pay a reasonable price for entertainment, because I have not, thankfully, had to buy a resale ticket like recently at all. And there's no way I'm paying double for what I know the real price is. So shout out to Olivia Dean. Best New Artist of the Year, named by the Grammys, and always looking out for fans and fangirls like us. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. up, everybody? Welcome back to the Funky Latina podcast. Yo, before I let you go, I gotta give you something to listen to. And so recently, I've actually been listening to this artist named Judith. She comes from a Mexican and Honduran household, and I would describe her more recent music as like hyper pop. So she is a bilingual artist, and you definitely should start with her song Diva, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It makes you feel like a diva. It's very upbeat, it's very fast, it's very electronic, and it's in Spanish. So check that out. Really love her music. And what's cool about this artist, I've been following her for a little while, and I was like, wow, like I would love to see her on the Funky Latina Fest lineup. Maybe 2026, maybe 2027. We'll see. Who knows? But what's also exciting about this artist is that she's actually going on tour. And so she is kicking off her tour dates with Ambar Lucid and Maya in Phoenix at Walter Studios. I think it's like in April. I'll make sure to put the dates below here. But like my mind just blew up whenever I saw this lineup, because whoever is the curator behind this freaking tour, I want to give you a big fat hug. A big fat hug, maybe a kiss on top of that too, because this is my dream. This is like super girly, super beautiful. When I started the Funky Latina podcast and the Funky Latina blogging, Ambar Lucid was like one of the first people I wrote about, because I remember, listening to her music, listening to Omar Apollo. I never got a chance to interview Maya, but like I've exchanged DMs with her, and just a fan. I'm a super fan of both of their music, and I think adding Judith to the lineup is like the perfect pop princess cherry on top for this tour. So check out Judith, check out the song Diva, and if you're in Phoenix, check out their tour. They'll be coming to Phoenix at Walter Studios in April. And if you can't wait till April, you ain't gotta wait till April to see some Latina baddies. All you gotta do is pull up to the Funky Latino Music Festival, Saturday, March 21st. I wanna see you guys there. We're gonna be in Phoenix at Walter Studios. Tickets are on sale now, and use that code BADDIE for $10 off. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will chat soon. Have a good night. Sending you fast, love, and fun.